Thank you very much, Jacques. I'll read from this second collection, which actually isn't out yet. It promises to come next week. The launch is set for June. So I've selected about 20 or so poems. I think some of the poems you've probably heard before. They belong to the female trope and the nature imagery. So they're included. So I'm going to share the screen. Can everyone hear? Good, thank you. So right, can everyone see the first poem? Yeah. This is section 1, which
Liz, sorry, the poems. There we go. Yeah, it's there.
Oh, you can see it. So section 1 is fairly spring-like. It includes seeds and growth. So the first poem is Priestess. She's no cool drink of water, priestess of the river. She offers bread to the multitude, turns water to wine. In the temple of her glittering lap dance, she sways before him, her full-bodied shake. Plunging, dreadlocks flowing, she rolls her hips, rises and ripples a belly, bursting the strings, lacing her breasts. Turns, smokes the tavern, glistens sweat, while he, smitten dumb, follows her swirl. She fizzes her potion and pours down his throat. I have a sequence of poems on Egypt. Here are 2. When I can get going.
Shit.
Here we are, yes. Newt. Transcribed as Nut, N-U-T, from the hieroglyphics, but she's pronounced Newt. 5,000 years back, Newt lifted her body and rose to the earth. Living in heaven, she became the sacred sky goddess who floated above her worshippers. Each dawn, Newt swallowed the sun to begin a new solar hymn. Each evening, she bled in the west when the sun seeped through her legs. Each night, beneath the ceiling of stars, her body in sequins, she bit into the moon. Newt could leap north to south of the Nile in one long-legged leap, moved her head over heels, speeding light, or curled into a sandstorm. Bathed like a lake in her fountain, her blue body over a slave girl, brewing beer for a king. Old Sky Mother Newt, who longed for gravity, willed her daughter her last hymn. Sacrifice your power, go down and inherit the earth, become mortal, merciful, just. Hatshepsut. Hatshepsut is the desert queen. Her face in disguise bears the mark of a king. She wears the king's wig, His beard cups her soft chin. On her brow the king's cobra raises his head. She is carved as a sphinx in local alabaster, her claws relaxed on their sandy plinths. Desert winds have bitten one paw and flank, but her tail curls intact round her rump. She was the perfumed queen who fetched cargoes of incense trees from the Gulf to plant in her fragrant garden. Who is this who parades a gilt collar and hips, who holds a beauty contest in front of the Sphinx? Her headband holds tumbled black locks, stiletto heels spike the dust. This morning she left Cleopatra's perfumery at the edge of the city, smelling of lotus and desert secret mingled with feral scent. Her feet ache. She kicks off her shoes. Sunglasses cover her coal-blackened lids. So this is further south, Longabaan, in the Cape West Coast. The flow of the sea fills the long lagoon, washes in tiny fish, a stray seal, washes out, leaves edges of seagrass, hermit crabs scuttling into empty shells. We bathe in shallow waters, wafts of smoke and roasting smells, whitewashed slave quarters, a rusting slave bell. Wine glasses lifted to toast the new year. In the morning, I trace animal prints in the sand around Abraham's kraal. In deep time, 100,000 years ago, a young Eve left her footprints in a dune. Sunset spoonbills preening, a yellow moon rising. In the old farmhouse, dying embers. I taste the day's salt on my lips, listen to the screech owl hunt its prey. In my mind, Eve, walking down to wash. Glacier. Mother, I am torn. My arm has slipped away from your breast. I am slowly disappearing, bitten by winds and sun. My flesh sweats, seeps to the bone, spilling onto rock. My radiant cave crumbles. My mouth melts, no longer sings. I am dripping, Mother. Milk and tears pool in the valley. Listen as I stumble and fall. Hear me rumble, echoing thunder. So very close to the glacier is where my family, my Norwegian family, come from. Pilgrimage to my family. Skolden, Sognefjord, Norway. The mother glacier carved, moved down the mountain into a fjord, mingling with inlet sea. Her ice daughter stayed suspended, became a hanging valley. Dark forest, birch, larch, pine. Land of black basalt rock, roaming deer and roaming wolf and hunted deer. Great uncles Otto and Niels settled above the waterfall, cleared trees, sowed potatoes and sugar beet, fished from bodies of water. Dark winters, deep falls of quiet snow, field frozen to a field of ice. Their wives, Unger and Karen, knitted and sang by their indoor fire. Summers, they gathered mushrooms and cloudberries behind the hut. Ice turned to torrents of water pouring down the steep ravine. When the sugar sickness came, they moved down to fertile land, where young Niels became blind. The old farmhouse is still there. So back to Africa. Baobabs. This is in a salt pan called Kubu Island, Kalahari. It's North Botswana. At the edge of the desert, abundant baobabs in leaf. A family of matriarchs. Their bodies have split millennia of rock. Their fists shake in a rumble of rain, refusing to fall. Baobab seed, green oracle, warm in my palm, I am brimful of you. I stand in your shade in the fall of milk flowers, eating wild flesh of your seeds. So this is the title poem, Star-Salted Place. It's the Tswang meteorite crater just north of Pretoria. Tswang is Setswana for place of salt. A rock from heaven crashed to earth. The earth spat fire, brimstone and dust, made a cradle of ash, a crater of salt. Today, the cradle flares candlebush around a salted lake. A teacher hums through the trees, trailing her grade 4 primary class. Chattering milk teeth in the heat, the children collect seeds to drop into her calabash, sweet marula, sicklebush, red ivory, poisonous tambuti, fat purses and pods, winged helicopter and parachute seeds. Under leaf shadow, the day's story begins. By the saltwater clock, they empty the bowl, rustling their seeds. This is Praise Singer. He is Samuel Edward Krune Mkwai, born 1875 to 1945, was a dramatist, poet, and historian. Praise Singer. Mission child listens to the elders under the towering fig tree, gathers tales and histories, absorbs the heart of his nation. Boy who herds his father's cattle, hears the tree sap rise, breaks into song to praise the world, song to his friends and favorite cows. Sing to the falling Xhosa warriors by the flowing Kiasi and Tumi. Sing to the people of this land who fought trying to save it, who spilled the last drop of their blood from this body so beautiful. Praises the black soldiers who fought for the world, heroes drowned on warship Mendi. Could we have sacrificed anything more precious? What did it mean to sacrifice a village? Was it not giving the bull calves to your homestead? How I could sparkle with them like the morning star. Poet Father to the Young adds 2 more stanzas to Santonga's anthem. Bless the public men, bless also the youth, that they may carry the land with patience, and that thou mayest bless them. Bless the wives and all young women, lift up all the young girls and bless them. I was inspired to write a poem about him, having seen a photograph of this little boy listening to elders under the fig tree. Still Life with Flag. This is a painting by Frida Kahlo, the Mexican artist, who you probably know who suffered terribly all her life from a brutal accident which severed her spine and damaged her insides. Still Life with Flag. I paint myself as the fruit Diego picked from our garden and laid beside me. Hoist myself up to the easel above my severed leg and fractured spine. With my sable brush, I paint hot-coloured melons and citrus, round and ripe. Heavy with child, my breasts swollen with milk, paint melon seeds black inside blood-red flesh. Against a deep jade sky, I paint the Mexican flag on my tender fruit. The red cut of my damaged sex leans on Diego's yellow plum. She could never carry a child to full term. She had several miscarriages. Battered Woman. She returns to her birthplace, a high grove of forest trees, her body bludgeoned by the man who hated her, washes him away, bathes her wounds in soft leaves, soothes swollen cheeks and welts on her back. She gathers wild olive, weeping sage, breath fragrant with peppermint and sweet lichen gum. Goes into the cool shed of earth, feet rooted to mend broken spine and bruised vagina, breasts enclosed in tender bark. Lipped leaves, stately branches, thorns to pierce his bitterness. Then I have section 2, which is, I would describe as mellow, and it ends in several poems of remembrance and death. This is a found poem, reported in the press in November 30, 1982, and the incident was in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. And the headline of what I read with squirt of milk saves sight. A woman on a deserted road, a baby on her back, her breasts full. A man peering into the engine of his car in clouds of hissing smoke. A snake rears up. She turns, quick to his cries, bathes his eyes, shot with venom, in the stream of her milk. Walks away on the road, dust in her footsteps, before he can thank her for his sight. The Pleiades. The full moon tonight quenches the light of stars. I look up from the dark earth, enthralled to find the seven sisters. Their bones, sharp and clear, sparkle the midnight blue. They burn white gold, light years from the invisible stars. But tonight, only 6 of them. Where's their lost sister? So there are several old legends, old myths of the lost sister. It's interesting, they have the same story across the earth. And you can't see 7 with your naked eye. You can see thousands through a telescope. This is in Sutherland, I saw them. This is another found poem. It's the performance artist Stephen Cohen. I saw a video of this. Jesus in the chandelier. "He's Jesus!" cried the homeless woman, as the artist, naked, walks with open arms, strapped to a chandelier in the poor part of town. Lit with colours, he parades in high heels to stately music. "See the marks on his body," she cries. "Jesus has come to bring light to our lives." So you can see the chandelier on display. There's an exhibition of Stephen Cohen's fabulous performance art, various videos. He's deeply humane, explores his Jewishness and his queerness. And his signature is he walks naked on platform shoes, very slowly through many crowded cities, from Tokyo to San Francisco, I'm sure New York, and Vienna. Mermaid. This is after the song and video by Florence Welch. "I came for love, but tasted blood, held in your human scent so sweet, traded my lovely tale for painful feet. Cheerful oblivion, danced drunken on your hard floor, tripped along your barren shore, longing for my home in the sea. Oh, cheerful oblivion! I lament what my body and soul have become, fear for you and what you have done. Returned at last to my sisters dear, with a broken tail and my beauty gone, sharp teeth and claws that don't belong." Here come my remembrance and death poems. Aunt Georgie before she died. Her small, aged body lies curled and tight, her ragged breath light. Curled in a pink nightie, she lies, fetal as an unborn. Opal eyes fastened on mine, she takes my hand, listens to the psalm she wanted. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. And this is my sweet mother, Honey. Bees are making honey in the vent, building honeycomb between the walls, waxing the doors of their invisible place. They bring nectar from English lavender, dance to mark the entrance of their hive. Sweet wafts blow into my house. My mother, enclosed in her colony, lived to vote for a new country. In the tumult of that year, I lay with her. Her nails tore down the walls. Her arms like reeds around me. She whispered in my ear, I am going to Siberia. Her lonely voyage to silence with a child's shoebox of ashes. 94 summers stored in my lap. Honey heavy in its brood chamber. Honey heavy and sweet. In my room, the bed a canoe about to leave shore. The floorboards a coast of trees with dark-lipped leaves. The window a one-eyed woman who crackles her bones. The curtains her cheeks blowing, smoke from her lips. The walls pale pink cliffs with veins of blood. The chimney a long throat of wind that whistles and wheezes. The kist a green coffin filled with feathers. The chest a kneeling mahogany girl. Sometimes the Indian puppet plays his pipe. The fig tree claps in time outside the window. The calling of geese flying home to roost. Your silent owl guarding wood for the fire. The chandelier hangs from the ceiling, burning and dripping coloured glass lights that remember you. Remembering my son. And this is the last in this section, Kramat. Wildflowers and bones on the lion's hill, and a crummet in a circle of shrines protects the mother city. In memory of all years to Allah, who gave their faith to slaves of the Cape. Bring your gifts to all each day, and make every day your last. Inside the square white building, sweet incense is burning in a room of peace. Outside, a gardener tends his beds of daylilies and African iris. A painter on his ladder repaints a wall. Stepping stone to stone on the lion's backbone, I come here. ashes, white stones, flowering bush, a kestrel in the sky. So I have a section 3, which is a collection of 13 little songs. They're untitled because they should flow one into each other. I call the section Song to Song. I'll just play you finally 3 of them. They're poems of birth. She came in the morning from her mother's womb, Munya, the smaller one, Jewel, the silent one, her twin. I am Munya at home and Johanna at work, the name on my pass. He came from her womb the night of her death, and her mother left the lake to begin a river. The eucalypts of Ethiopia hold water in spring, and women carry drums of rain. By the pool of fertility, he turns to kiss the king's tomb, beside Mary's carved womb. I dive into the dark water in the path of a fish. I feel it muscle against me. Tiny limb flaps, small seed, sunfish, curled in me. Okay, that's the end of me. So, finished.
Liz, I thank you so much for that reading. I'm at a loss for words. I'm sure I'm not the only one in the room who is deeply moved by what you've shared with us. Can we please unmute and have another round of applause? I'm sure there are questions, and this is what I hand over. But thank you very much for a gorgeous reading.
I'm trying to get rid of the script.
Okay, Liz, while you're doing that, this is the Q&A part of the evening. So anyone who has questions, comments, observations on the poems, now is a good time to raise a real or virtual hand. I just wanted to say, Liz, thank you. Wow, so many gorgeous poems in there, and I'm kind of hanging back because I'm hoping someone else might say a few things. But Douglas, I see your hand is up, so I'll follow you or Jack. Okay.
Well, you asked for somebody to step in. It's a trivial question, but which part of Norway does your family come from, and what was your maiden name?
Oh, nice question. It's the end of the longest fjord called the Sognefjord, which is about mid-Norway. And my maiden name was Bakke, Bakke, Bakke.
Bakke.
But in South Africa, everyone called me Bakkie. Bakkie or Bucky. They joked about the surname, which I was sad about.
Gosh. So at what age were you when you came, or Were you born here?
No,
Or,
I'm a Cape Townian.
oh,
My father came as a young businessman
mm,
and met my mother. But he died when I was 10.
oh God.
So we never had the link with Norway. But when I went to live in England, aged 19, I visited them. And I had many summers with them. I had one frozen winter, um, very cold in winter.
Gosh. I have one literary question, and it's about the mermaid. It seems to
Mhm.
me that the mermaid is a symbolic character of the sorts of alienation that certain children or even young adults or adults themselves can experience socially.
Yeah, that's right. And there are lots of legends, stories from coastal communities of the mermaid, Little Mermaid. Um, but I think I'm nudging the climate change and inhumanity, really. Yeah. If you listen to Welsh's video, her song is against warplanes, um, which is very powerful.
Okay.
Thank you, Douglas. Thank you, Liz. Jacques, you're up.
Yeah, Liz, I'm stunned. You know, every time I go back to your first collection, I'm more and more aware of how beautiful it is. And these poems, the second collection, I'm really, I'm not exaggerating when I say I'm in awe of what you've done. My question is about the poems in which you collapse time. So the Egyptian poems, especially Hatshepsut, because she's both ancient and very modern, wears sunglasses, and also the Langebarn poem. It, 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 you're very good at suggesting how we and the slaves of recent times and Eve of 100,000 years ago are contemporaries. So I'm curious about those poems. And then if you could say something about the poem about the the boy who's born on the night his mother dies, and who kisses the fertility, the image of fertility. I'm curious about that one. So
Right.
about stories, I guess, and that thing about us being contemporaries of the ancients, I find that very, very compelling.
Thank you, Jacques. I couldn't hear everything you were saying, but
Oh,
no, I got the gist. I, I'm fascinated by deep time. So I was thrilled when I haven't actually seen the footprint, but my son and family saw it, and it's actually in the museum. So I love to bring sort of real, sort of deep time into the present. And I've got more poems like that. And as for the pool of fertility, we went to Ethiopia, and it is an actual place. I'm afraid I don't, it's not imaginative, it's a real place. What I
yeah,
mean to say, I don't often imagine things. They have to be there, and then I can work around them.
yes, yeah, extraordinary. And what made you think of of a boy, being born on the day his mother dies. How did that image come to you?
Just say that again. Sorry. The
Image of the boy who dies on the night, or who's
yes. Again, thank you. I met somebody who said, my mother died in childhood, when he was born. So I used that. Yeah.
wow. Oh, it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
And, the first poem, speaking of wombs, it came from a domestic worker. I was helping her with her English. And she said, and I said, tell me something about yourself. And she said, I came in the morning from my mother's womb. And it was absolutely amazing. She was a twin, and Jewel, the silent one, was stillborn.
Right.
So this was very precious to her.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jacques. Great questions and very generous replies, Liz. I just wanted to say, while you were reading, that there was a phrase you used, deeply humane, and I always found your poems, or many of them, not to generalize, connect me to my humanity, and they're deeply rooted in that sort of place. They're very grounded, very clear, and very evocative of place and places, and I love the precision in your writing and the imagery that you use. So yeah, and the last section was really powerful, or rather the poems in the towards the end of the second section that you read, really moving, powerful poems. I mean, on Georgie, before she died, you do so much with so little in that poem. If I have a question, it relates to song to song, and the poems of both. I wondered sort of why that poem became that poem and how it took that shape. Because you only read the extracts, but I could already, just from those extracts, there's a real flow in that.
Thank you. Thank you. And a very good question. Well, it stemmed from this student of mine who said, I came in the morning. And the whole collection really is cycles from birth to death. And thank you for deeply humane. I feel good when I write something like this, and connect to people. So it flowed from her remark, and the rest of, you probably know the rest. It is a lot of movement, birds and activity and nature. So it was fairly easy to write. I just did these little poems. They were actually titled like Beginnings, and I forget them now actually. But Robert Beryl, my very wonderful editor, he said, no, cut them out, which I think is fine because they flow loosely together. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the one, I think that it's just also there's an echo in the one line, I dive. No, he came from a womb the night of her death. You sort of go back. It is circular and it's beautiful the way you thread it.
Yes, they're not true songs. I mean, Jacques would know this as a songwriter. They don't rhyme. In fact, the mermaid one is more of a song because it does rhyme and falling cadences. But anyway, I call them songs.
Yeah.
I think it would be wonderful to, I think they could be sung, and I hope they will be.
Well, if they were, I think, as you know, there's lots of repetition and refrains. In fact, there's one couplet, I forget, it comes in the song 7 or 8. It's, let me see. I look to the skies to see what they, to see where they go. I look into the eyes to see what they show. This is from McCoy, what's he say? Yeah, McCoy Rubata.
Yes.
It's called Painted Skies. So I've lifted that, but I acknowledge it.
Wow. Well, I mean, it feels, I mean, I'm not religious, but they feel like secular liturgy. And I really hope they are, I really hope they are sung. They deserve to be.
Oh, well, thank you. Thanks.
I'll stand in line.
Yeah.